Good afternoon. I am very happy to be here in this absolutely beautiful restored Persian terrace. Ed Riley, I know that you've received a lot of accolades. Let me add mine. Thank you for hosting us here today. It's absolutely spectacular. I know when Governor Cuomo was elected that he committed to a focus on upstate. And I know that people say things when they're out on the campaign trail and then you get in and it's harder to accomplish maybe than you thought, but wow, has Governor Cuomo focused on upstate. He was just here last week. The investments that are being made in upstate, you're seeing them everywhere, including here at this beautifully restored Hotel Syracuse. The process that's been driving all this was the governor's innovative creation of the Regional Economic Development Councils. And we have here our co-chairs, Rob Simpson and Kent Severud, Chancellor Severud, who have led a large group of people from this community, from academia and from the business sector and from government. And the governor forced us all to come together, prioritize as a region, and then the state is partnering with us on our strategic goals. And that was all really celebrated last year when this region was one of the $500 million winners of the Upstate Revitalization Initiative. So thank you to Rob and Chancellor for leading us in that process. We are joined here by the President and CEO of Empire State Development, Howard Zemsky. Thank you very much for coming to this another great announcement in partnership with ESD. We're also joined by members of the legislature. Our chairman and our minority leader, Ryan McMahon and Linda Irvin, are here. Thank you very much for coming. The president of the Syracuse Common Council, Van Robinson. Welcome, Van. And we have two special guests here. As part of this announcement, the CEO of TCG Player and Ascension Gaming, Chetty Hampson, is with us. Welcome. Oh, right there. And the inbound marketing coordinator, RJ Licata, is with us. Welcome, RJ, from Cherokee. Since 2012, Governor Cuomo's team, with Howard Zemsky, the state legislature, state government, as I said, has partnered with us and invested $2.8 billion in this region. At the same time, unemployment is down, as the governor said yesterday when he graciously called into the radio program, where we could have done a lot of damage with an open mic for 10 minutes, and I thought we really behaved, right? There were a lot of things you could have said, and I appreciate that you did not. The governor said yesterday we have more jobs in upstate New York right now than ever in the history of upstate New York. And I want to give credit where I'm not sure people see the direct line, but your county property taxes are down, in large part due to the partnership we have with the county legislature. But they will tell you, and I will tell you, that it's easy for us to lower our county property taxes when the governor does the right thing, and he has taken back state mandates. He has absorbed the escalating costs of Medicaid and borne them at the state level. That has made it possible for county governments to give property tax relief, and thank you very much, Governor, for doing that. These investments that are being made in central New York are going to pay dividends for a long time. We're in this, those of us that are in local government, in state government, to create a state and a region that's better for our kids than the way it was when we found it. And we can do that because we have great partners in state government. And I would like to introduce one of them, Howard Zemsky. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joni. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good to be with you. Love Syracuse. Love Central New York. bullish on Central New York in a big way. You guys have a great plan developed by the Regional Economic Development Council that focuses on all the right things, downtown revitalization, just like we're experiencing here today, focusing on workforce development, having the workforce for the next generation jobs. And it wasn't that long ago, County Executive, that we were together and the governor was announcing the commitment to say yes. You talk about the workforce pipeline here in Central New York, what an important piece of the puzzle that is, focusing on companies that are in the tradable sectors of our economy, delivering goods and services outside the region, outside the state, outside the country. That's our sweet spot of economic development. And focusing on innovation and entrepreneurship, which is what we're talking about today with these fabulous companies. So it's a pleasure to be here with you. Not only do you have a great plan with all those elements, you have a remarkable governor who has made an unprecedented commitment to upstate New York. And I've had the pleasure of living through this in Western New York, and you are now living through it in Central New York. And it's an extraordinary combination. The plan and the commitment of the governor and the resources of the state are having a big impact on this town. In fact, Central New York has won more money through the whole CFA REDC process over 5 years than any region in the state. Combined with the URI, which the county executive mentioned, those two alone are $1 billion of commitments from the state of New York. In addition, another $1.8 billion of investments from the state since 2012, almost $3 billion from New York State into all 5 counties of Central New York. And some of those resources enable projects like this vital revitalization project. It is so great when Syracuse's history can be part of its economic future. And the adaptive reuse of these historic buildings is such an important piece of the economic development puzzle. And the state has enabled the kinds of projects that we're here to talk about today. So it's a great pleasure and honor to announce the expansion of 2 exciting local innovative businesses. Terrakeet in downtown Syracuse, by the way, together with TCG Ascension Gaming, also in downtown Syracuse, creating and retaining 450 jobs right here. Funding from the URI as well as our Excelsior Job Program tax credits are enabling and facilitating these investments. Terrakeet is adding 200 jobs to their already 150 jobs. And those jobs are in digital marketing, in account management, in sales, in data analytics, in software development, exactly the kind of jobs that we're looking for in the 21st century. And TCG Ascension is an online marketplace for trading cards. And I want some 1969 Met trading cards. Cleon Jones, Tommy Agee. And they're growing internationally. And they're availing themselves of the resources of New York State's Global New York, which is again focused on tradable sectors and exports. And they're adding 42 jobs, web developers, customer service representatives, to their already 69 job employment level. So we're extremely pleased These are the kinds of companies that used to leave Syracuse. We're not leaving Syracuse anymore. We're staying in Syracuse, and we're growing in Syracuse. This has an amazing workforce. It has a great history. It has fabulous assets. It has the waterfront. It has historic buildings. It has all the ingredients you, the people of Syracuse, and people who love this town and the quality of life, and more important than anything else, it has the amazing governor of the state of New York who has made for the first time, as long as I've lived in upstate New York, which is almost 40 years, has made the upstate economies and the central New York economy his #1 priority. So it's a great pleasure and honor to introduce the great governor of the state of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to be back in Syracuse. I feel like I was just here yesterday. Actually, it was last week. We were touring the State Fair and the work that we're doing in the State Fair, which is very exciting. It's the same basic theme, same basic point as today. Yesterday, I was on the phone with the county executive, Joni Mahoney, who was a radio show host, and I called in, did an interview. I don't know if you noticed, when Joni is on the radio, her voice changes. Did you notice that? It sort of goes down, it's a little more velvet. Hi, I'm Joni Mahoney, county executive. I think you have a future. First, Howard Zemsky. Howard Zemsky is everything you dream about in a public official. He's a very successful private sector businessman who didn't need to come into government. He's brilliant. He built a business in Buffalo that was extraordinary, and he came in just because he believes in New York and he believes in you doing what he can to make this state a better state. And when he talks about the success in upstate New York, that would not have happened but for Howard Zemsky. So let's give him a big round of applause. Your county executive, who is a fair to Midland radio show host, but a great county executive. Let's give her a round of applause. Rob Simpson and Chancellor Severud, thank you for leading the REDC and all the good work you've done. Thank you, guys. Congratulations to Ed Riley on the Hotel Syracuse, and this is obviously a labor of love, but it is worth it because it is a beautiful, beautiful metaphor for the city of Syracuse and the entire county. God bless you for what you've done. And Chetty Hampson and R.J. Licata, congratulations, 450 jobs created or retained. That is a lot of jobs for Central New York. And you are in cutting-edge technology and cutting-edge companies. So as Howard said, we're honored to have you here in Syracuse. God bless you. Thank you. The Hotel Syracuse really is a metaphor for so much of what we're talking about. I have great personal memories in the Hotel Syracuse. 1982, my father starts his political campaign to run for governor. And his campaign manager is his 23-year-old son, Andrew Cuomo, because he can't get anyone real to run his campaign because he has no chance to win the campaign. He's running against Ed Koch, who was mayor of New York. And Ed Koch was unbelievably popular, and he was going to be president of the United States. And Mario Cuomo was this little-known lieutenant governor, and he didn't have any chance and any money. And it's really pathetic when your son has to be your campaign manager, and it was terrible. And the Democratic convention was in the Hotel Syracuse, and the Democratic convention is the really official kickoff of the campaign. And the convention is when you determine if you're on the ballot, if you're not on the ballot, how many delegates vote for you. So it's really the first test of the campaign. And Ed Koch was a big favorite, and Mario Cuomo was the gross underdog. And we had this little shoestring campaign, and it was sort of me and 5 of my buddies, and none of us really knew what we were doing. And our one asset was this donated old recreational vehicle. And we were all set for the convention, and we get this old RV donated to the campaign, but it's the only thing we had. And I said, oh, so we'll all get in the RV, and then we're going to go up to the convention, and that's how we're going to get there. And we're going to get it painted for the convention. So I sent 2 of my other 23-year-old buddies to go out and get it painted, and I said, do it blue and gold, which are the state colors, and it should say Mario Cuomo for governor on the side, and paint the state as the logo on the side of the RV. Great. They go out to do it. I delegated a task. I'm now a manager. We get ready to come up to the hotel. We start to pile in the RV. I look at the RV. The RV is blue and pink, first of all. Why is it blue and pink? Because the 2 people who went out to get the RV painted couldn't find any place that would paint the RV within our budget, which was like $70. And they decided to do it by hand. When they went to buy the paint, the store had no gold paint, so they bought pink paint. So it was blue and pink. And they hand-painted Mario Cuomo freehand, so it looked sort of like graffiti-ish on the side of this thing. And then they hand-painted the state of New York roughly, but forgot Long Island. So it was just a state without Long Island. So we get in this RV, we drive up, get out, we get into the hotel. The hotel is all decorated for the convention, and there's a lot of energy, and there's a lot of balloons. And my father comes up the next day and walks into the hotel room, and the first thing he says is, what is that RV parked in front of the hotel? And why is it blue and pink? And I had to go through it. And what happened to Long Island? And it really shook his confidence, I think, on how the campaign was going. But he gave a brilliant speech. He lost the convention, gave a brilliant speech, but did better than people expected. And that's when it all started. So when I heard that the Hotel Syracuse closed, it was devastating to me, because the Hotel Syracuse, what a beautiful, magnificent building, what history, what a monument. And when it closed, it just became a litmus test for the entire city. And it made a negative statement that was breathtaking about the entire city. And then you thought right away, well, I'm sure it's going to open right away because it's such a beautiful asset, somebody. And then it was 1 year and 2 years and this false start and this false start. So to be standing here today in this, once again, magnificent facility, really we've come full circle. Hotel Syracuse is a symbol of Syracuse at its best, at its boldest, at its strongest, at its most proud, its most ambitious, to invest in this beautiful architecture and detail. And then it closes, and now it's on the rebirth. It's on the Renaissance. And it's going to be as beautiful as ever. And it's actually going to be better because it's smarter, more technology, greater system refinement. And that is the story of upstate New York. Howard says it well. Upstate New York was the manufacturing capital of the country at one time. That's what it was. Upstate New York made downstate New York. Why is New York City New York City? Because you had the Erie Canal in upstate New York. And those ships were not coming in to go to New York City. They were coming in to get to upstate New York and go through the Erie Canal to get to the Great Lakes. And as those ships went along the Erie Canal, we became the manufacturing centers, right? Oh, I was in a class of youngsters and they said the cities are along the thruway. I said, yeah, actually the cities were along the canal before there was a thruway. And they couldn't get that, but that was okay. The whole ships thing threw them. So it was a great manufacturing center, and then it has gone through a sustained period of decline. Great line in Buffalo, where Howard's from, somebody said to me, when it comes to the economy, we've had a bad 50 years. I thought they were kidding. They weren't kidding. A bad 50 years. It's been multi-generations. And upstate had a triple threat. The economy shifted from a manufacturing economy to a high-tech economy. Second, the state government in Albany all but abandoned upstate New York and spent a lot of time and attention on downstate New York. That's a frank, candid, and painful statement, but it is true. And I say it as someone from downstate New York. You couldn't find the Albany investment in upstate New York. So upstate is going through this terrible economic transition, and the state government is nowhere to help. And third, the state was continuing to raise taxes and made this the tax capital of the nation, which then forced even more people and businesses from upstate New York. And we have been addressing all three. First, we brought taxes down every year. Taxes today for the middle class in the state of New York, middle class from $40,000 to $300,000, are the lowest rate in 70 years. Think about that. Lowest tax rate in 70 years. Isn't that amazing? We exactly flipped the investment strategy. We're investing money in upstate New York. Why? Because it's smart and it's right. It's right because upstate New York was abandoned. It's smart because when you invest in upstate New York, the better upstate New York does, the better for downstate New York, because we're one state, we're one economy, we're one set of books. So it's not at the expense of downstate. The stronger upstate does, the better for all. And in terms of keeping pace with the new economy, that's our shift to regional economic development councils, the URI initiative. Let business leaders in that locality come together and decide what their business plan is for the future. What does Central New York offer that makes it economically competitive for the next 20 years? How do you take Syracuse University, put it together with the workforce, put it together with Hotel Syracuse, work with the county, and come up with a business plan that's going to last the next 20 years? Not where Albany is going to tell them what to do, but actually empower them to bring their dream to reality. And that is exactly what is happening. Hotel Syracuse Reborn, new advanced manufacturing high-tech companies locating in downtown Syracuse, who 10 years ago would have been on the first plane to Austin, Texas, or to South Carolina, now locating here because they see the economic future that is Onondaga County. We are on the way. The proof is in the pudding. These are not just words. 129,000 new jobs in upstate New York since 2011. 129,000 new jobs. 2011, the unemployment rate was 7.6%. Today, it's 4.7%. Those are numbers, and you can't argue with the numbers. So the arrows are pointed in the right direction. We have the momentum. We got started, which is the hardest thing to do, and now the sky is the limit. We just have to keep going, keep working together, keep believing in ourselves, keep accomplishing, keep performing, keep getting things done, and you're going to see not that we're going to be back to where we were. We're going to be to a level we've never reached before. Pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you again to Governor Cuomo, and thank all of you for coming out this morning. That concludes our program.